Hello and welcome to The Well. I'm your host, Dr. Brendan Arm, Doctor of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine, Chinese medicine herbalist, and founder-director of Lotus Integrative Medicine in Santa Monica, California. There's a wealth of health-related information out there, and I'm joined today by this wonderful group of integrative and holistic medical doctors and practitioners who share some of our favorite wellness tips. Please let me introduce you to Bianca Rodriguez, a holistic psychotherapist, Dr. Heath McAllister, a naturopathic doctor and registered herbalist, and Leona West, a clinical nutritionist and herbalist, also trained and certified in functional medicine. So let's begin. Today's topic is breathwork exercise number 1.
That's right. So you guys know that I love utilizing our breath as a way to calm our bodies, as a way to calm our minds, as a way to relieve stress, cope with anxiety, anger, all the feelings that come up that sometimes feel uncomfortable. We want to bring ourselves back down to a baseline. So the simplest breath that I always teach clients is a breath that actually mimics what your body does when you sigh. So think about the last time you sighed, right? You're sitting in traffic and you're like, oh, right? Or if you have a teenager at home, right? They're often very irritable. They sigh all the time. So when you sigh, right, involuntarily, that's your body's way of releasing stress. That's your parasympathetic nervous system's way of, like, if there's a valve and it wants to release some stress, just doing that. So we can actually utilize that intentionally as a way to release our own stress. So this is how this breath goes, right? You're going to inhale through your nose for 4 counts. And then you're going to open your mouth. You know, it doesn't have to be incredibly dramatic. You're just going to let the mouth open and you're going to sigh it out for 8 counts. And you want to make an audible sound because that's what it sounds like, right? When you sigh. Now, when we inhale, a lot of us, are not aware so much of our inhale and our exhale. And when you inhale, you actually want to come down to the diaphragm. And if you can see here, my diaphragm fills with air and it pushes my hand out. Now, a lot of our folks who are going to be watching here might be like, that is uncomfortable. That is weird. And that's okay. With practice, you're going to get used to it, right? But you're going to inhale through your nose for 4 counts, filling the belly, and then you're going to part the lips and you're just going to sigh it out for 8 counts. And when you sigh it out and you exhale, you're going to watch the belly go in, right? Because you're letting all the air out. So I'm going to lead you folks through 3 rounds. I usually say give it at least 3 breaths. Okay, are you in?
We're in.
Totally.
Okay, all right, so here we go. So I'm going to count for you and our audience. You guys, whatever you're doing, even if you're driving a car, you can do this right now. Just don't close your eyes, okay? But everybody, we're doing this with you because we want you to have the benefit because it's that quick, okay? So we're going to inhale for 4 counts starting now through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Part the lips and sigh it out for 8 counts. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, all the air out. 1, good. And again, deepest breath of the day in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just open the mouth and sigh it out for 8 counts. 1, 2, relax the jaw. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and one last time. Here we go. I'm going to let you go at your own pace. Inhale, counting to 4 in your head. Fill that belly up, fill the lungs up, and then let the lips part, let the jaw go slack, and just let it all out, sighing it out. Nice. And what do you notice? What do you notice, friends?
I feel much better.
Very grounding. Very grounding. It's like putting a pause
in whatever you're experiencing at that moment. For me, lights seem like they're a little brighter. I'm more attuned to my senses. You feel like it's created I think a lot of times we're always in reactive mode where we're just jumping from one thing to the next and, juggling kids and making breakfast and reading the news. And like, this is like creating a calm bomb in the middle of that.
I like that, a calm bomb. Yes.
But a peaceful one. My feedback is that the days just go by so fast, and everything you just stay, focused on whatever you're doing. It's whether, as you said, family or work or driving. It's just, so rare do we get a chance just to pause and just be present. So I think that's my takeaway is like, wow, okay, I'm just going to spend a few moments just doing an exercise to get present, just to get here, so that I can have my eyes open and I can be experiencing what is now. That's what I feel when I do some practice like that.
I think it's the ability to reset at any moment in the day. Sometimes we have this feeling like, you have to start the day off a certain way. And if you get thrown off, well, then that's it. But I think taking your breath like this and these simple exercise, it's an opportunity to reset at any given moment in the day. And it just takes that moment.
And that's so powerful because, like, right, if your day starts off crappy and you get an 8 a.m. something that sets you off, you're going to lose over 12 hours being in a space that maybe doesn't serve your highest good. So knowing that, one thing that clients always say to me, it's like, this took us, probably a minute or 2 minutes max, maybe even less. And it's like, man, it's such a short period of time. And yet it's so powerful and it can affect your next 12 hours, 10 hours, not to mention the interactions that you have with the people around you. Because, when we're activated, irritable, in our heads, not in the moment, that affects our clients, our family, the person at the grocery store, everything. So I always say, like, I meditate and I practice the work that I practice, just not for me, but for everybody who's going to have to interact with me.
Yeah, it reminds me what I often do is when I'm really tightly wound and I'm really reactive and I realize I've been fully shifted into my sympathetic state of mind, I will do another type of breathing. I'll do breath of fire. And breath of fire for me is like, it just breaks through any ability for me to hold on to that negative emotion or that issue. Really, like I crack it and I release it. And it's like hyperventilating in a way that, it is hyperventilating, but it's so difficult to hold on to that pattern of reactivity. And it really does, in that acute moment, shift you into that sympathetic state. So I find myself doing that. This one, I think, is like incredible for both treatment and maintenance, so that if you have several of these breathing tools, it's an incredible way for us to access the sympathetic nervous system and calm that down and encourage that parasympathetic sympathetic nervous system to come up and bring us back to ourselves.
Yeah, and help the energy you can.
Sorry, we'll do that one. We're going to stay tuned for Breath of Fire. Brendan, sorry.
Yeah, I want to try the Breath of Fire too.
Sure.
But I was saying, from a Chinese perspective of doing some practice like breath work that helps bring the energy in, helps consolidate the energy in, because all day we're doing all these activities that, whether through speaking or through physical actions, we're always doing things on the outside and sending things out, but we're doing so little to take things in, to receive. So, mindfulness breathing to me is like that, an opportunity to energy consolidate, because so many of us are so depleted because we don't do enough of that. So that's about all we have for today. That's about all the time we have for today. If you have a topic you'd like to learn more about, let us know with a comment on social media. And also don't forget to subscribe to our The Well YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us, and please let us know, please join us next time for more wellness tips. Remember, regardless of where we are, our resources in The Well are limitless.